today's video, we are talking about the best cinematic drone settings for the DJI Mavic Pro 2 or any of the drone series that DJI might have. I think this theory will apply. Running in sand is tiring. Stay tuned. All right, so the first thing I want to go over is camera settings, and this honestly is really similar to the video I just posted recently about camera settings, but typically I'm shooting in 4K 30 or 4K 24, either one. Whichever one you choose, you got to make sure, again, you double your shutter speed. So when I'm shooting in 4K 30, I'm going to have my shutter speed at 1/60. That way it gives the footage a nice smooth look, and I never ever touch my shutter speed with my drone settings once I have it doubled to the frame rate. If I have to lighten or darken anything, I will go to other measures before I touch the shutter speed. The next thing is the ISO, and typically with the ISO, I try to keep it as low as possible with the drone. Basically, you always want to try to keep it as low as you can. In this case, it would be 100 or 200. Typically, when I'm shooting my drone, it's always bright enough where I actually needing to keep it as low as possible. So keep your ISO low. The last camera setting to talk about then is the f-stop, and again, I try to keep it low if I can, but with the drone footage, if I do need to darken my image, I will increase the f-stop number to do that. So typically it might be around anywhere from f6 to f9 or 10. So again, try to keep it low if you can, but that's where I do increase the f-stop to darken the image. I do have something else that I use to darken the image, but I will talk about that in a later point, so keep watching. Hey guys, just interrupting real quick. I hope you can hear me. It is crazy windy. I came back to Hutchinson Island like a week after the video you're watching right now to try to get some more footage. And of course, the day that I come back, it's like crazy windy. There's like a storm or something coming through out in the ocean. It's blue sky on one side, blue sky back there, and dark and stormy behind me. But it's made for some good footage. But if you're wondering why there's a difference in the weather, that's why. I just felt like you needed to know. I don't know, maybe it's fine, but maybe you didn't care, but now you know why there's a difference in the weather. All right, the next thing to talk about is your picture profile. Do you shoot in D-Log or do you shoot in the normal standard profile? Now, D-Log is DJI's version of a cinematic log footage, so it's low saturation, low contrast, and what that does is it gives you the most flexibility to color correct and just spice up your image and make it look that much better. So where you find that is you go into your camera settings, you go to your camera settings on the middle tab there, you go down to your color. This is where you would choose whether you want D-Log, which you can see it's a much more flat profile, a little overexposed right here, but flat profile, or we go to normal, and you can see it automatically gives it some contrast and some color. I am shooting in D-Log as much as possible just because it gives that much of a better image. I'm gonna go ahead and darken this. I'm gonna take my f-stop up to f9. Looks a little bit better right there. And got some high wind velocity going on today, or up there. Down here it's not that windy, and I'm actually quite warm. So that is the difference between your D-Log and your normal profile. Again, it's up to your preference. I personally choose D-Log because it's a more cinematic color grade or color science that allows me to grade it in a better way. So again, whatever you choose, that's what I go with. That's my preference. All right, so let's talk about flying smooth. How do we get those nice shots where the camera is like pointing at the ground, you're moving along, and you slowly just tilt up, and you can't even hardly tell when you actually stopped turning the camera up. It's just that smooth. What you're gonna wanna do, you're gonna go to the top bar, and down here to the bottom, your gimbal settings, and you're gonna go in advanced, and you're gonna take this gimbal pitch smoothness, you're gonna turn this up to around 20 or 25, somewhere in there. I'm gonna go with 25. We're gonna go back here. Gonna start to like pitch up here. I'm gonna let go of the wheel, and makes it so much smoother. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about quickly is your positioning mode versus tripod mode. So on the right hand side of your controller, you'll have these little notches. You have sports mode, positioning, and tripod. Sports mode is sort of self-explanatory. Flip it in sports mode, it turns off all the sensors around the drone. You can fly much quicker, you just don't have some of the safety features. But for flying smooth, we want to we can use P mode, so here you can see we could do just a nice, you know, smooth rotation movement here. An even better option is if we flip to tripod mode, it now turns on the sensors all around the drone. You can see the green symbol there flashing at the top, shows us all the sensors around the drone. Crash avoidance sensors are on, and we can now move, and the thing with tripod mode is it moves very, very slowly. You don't have any quick snappy movements, but it allows for just real smooth motion. So that's just a great feature if you are wanting to get some nice, just buttery smooth shots. Tripod mode is going to do the trick for you on that. I'm gonna go full throttle. This is full throttle right now with tripod mode. So you can see it's not very quick, but it's very, very smooth. So mixing tripod mode along with a modified setting for your gimbal movement, you have some great smooth footage. All right, the last thing I want to go over with you guys, and to me this is probably one of the most important things you can ever do to achieve that great looking drone footage, and that is ND filters. Okay, so this is the brand I use. It's called Skyreet. I've had them for a while. Doesn't necessarily matter what brand you get as long as they're obviously reliable and a good quality brand, but basically an ND filter is going to work like sunglasses for your drone. All right, so here's the drone right here. I'm just going to put this up right in front of it. You can see just the difference. Major difference. This is ND4, so this is actually a lighter ND filter. I have 8 and 16, so 16 would be very, very dark. Would be great for cutting out highlights, maybe snow, things that are going to be really, really bright, or bright water. But guys, use ND filters. I use them for my normal lenses for my camera. They're worth the investment to get that great looking drone footage. It's honestly the icing on the cake for getting that nice cinematic looking drone footage. Once you get your camera settings right and all the other things adjusted, the last thing and most important thing I think is to get an ND filter. Now obviously they're not something you're going to use at night because it'd be too dark, but most any other time I have an ND4 filter on my camera almost all the time. All right guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys found some value in it. Subscribe, like, let me know in the comments what you want to learn more of, maybe with drones or just in general. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. See ya.